Hello everyone, my name is Martin Medeiros and I'll be your instructor for ECN2, and I just wanted to take this time to kind of explain to you how things are going to be working on a week-to-week basis. I'm not going to be covering any content, I just want to make sure that you are crystal clear on what you're responsible for and that there's no surprises. So first of all, this is a purely online course, so there's going to be no regular in-person or Zoom meetings with us, but that doesn't mean we won't have any contact. I will have weekly office hours, as you can see here. It's going to be Mondays at 7. If you click on this link, you can get to the Zoom link I'm going to be using. I'm also going to show you how to find that information on the course site when I go to it. So we will have regular meetings. You don't have to only wait until Monday at 7 to meet with me. If that's not convenient, just send me an email. We'll work something out and we'll connect. And of course, you could email me too. Here's my email address right here, and I promise I'll respond to you within 24 hours. If you don't get a response within 24 hours, that means somehow I missed your email. Just send me another one, and I'll most likely get that one. So let's scroll down to the course schedule. And you can see here I have things worked out on a week-to-week basis, and I show you what chapters we're going to be covering for that week and the due dates for the assignments related to that week. Now, these due dates have one thing in common. They're all on Sunday. So there are going to be no due dates other than Sunday, with the exception of the final exam. Since our class does not end on a Sunday, the due date for the final exam is not on a Sunday, but that's the only exception. Everything else, there's a due date, and that's every week. The only two exceptions are the holiday weeks. We have a President's Day and a spring break, but it's very consistent. Just assume every week on Sunday we've got something due. So let's just take week 3 as an example. We're going to be covering chapter 3, and the due date is on the 12th. So let's go over to the class site, and I'm just going to go to week 3. And you can see here, week 3, I start you off with an overview that tells you what the chapter is all about, what the learning objectives are. And then I'm going to tell you the chapter that is required from our textbook. That's chapter 3. And then I have my PowerPoint slides I use for my lecture on that chapter. And I have a recorded lecture. So if you click on here, you can see here I have my recorded lecture broken up into 3 parts. And what I recommend that you do is do the reading first, then watch my recorded lecture. And some people like to download the PowerPoint slides because I use those slides in my recorded lecture. Once you do that, you're ready to complete the assignments for week 3. And all of the assignments are going to be under the activities to complete for that particular week. And basically you're going to have basically 2 to 3 activities, one of which are going to be video questions. And these are, just as the name implies, it's a 1-question quiz on a video. So you watch this video and you answer 1 question on that video. Now, these are not designed to be tricky. They're there to help you prepare for the upcoming exams. And then I have a 10-question quiz on that particular chapter. Now, these quizzes are not timed. You just have to complete them before the due date, which is going to be Sunday. So, in theory, you could start the quiz, let's say on a Tuesday, and let's say you're confused on 1 or 2 questions. You could actually stop the quiz and email me, and I could answer your question, and you could actually complete the quiz the next day. So you could start and stop the quizzes as long as you finish it by Sunday. Now, the only other thing that you don't see listed here is a discussion thread. I don't have discussion threads every week, But if I do have a discussion thread, it will be under the activities to complete, and it's going to be due on Sunday. Now, one little thing about discussion threads. If you want to get full credit on a discussion thread, make sure that you submit your answer before Sunday, let's say on a Saturday. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because if students submit their discussion thread responses at the very last minute, let's say Sunday night at 11 p.m., no one is going to read your post. The reason why is because students have moved on to the next week's assignments. So if you want full credit on discussion threads, respond by Saturday and make sure your response is thorough, meaning you've shown some thought. Don't just submit 1 or 2 sentences. Kind of demonstrate that you've read it, you understand it, and then you want to respond in a thoughtful and thorough manner, and you'll get full credit. And that's how things work. The only thing that I didn't discuss are the exams. So you could see here underneath the course schedule. Let me just scroll here. Underneath the course schedule, I have the exam schedule right here. And we have 3 midterms and 1 final exam. And you could see here, our first exam is going to be week 6, right here, week 6. And it's also going to be due on Sunday, but I open it up on a Saturday and it closes on Sunday. So you have 48 hours to complete the exam. Now, the midterms and final are timed. The midterms, exams 1, 2, and 3, are going to be 2 hours long. The final exam is going to be 3 hours long. So, and these, once you start it, you've got to complete it. And I have the chapters that they're going to be covering right here. And the quizzes, the video questions, and of course my video lectures in the textbook are going to help you prepare for the exams. So I'm going to give you review guides for each exam. So keep an eye on that. I'll announce it via an email when they're posted. And that's pretty much how the course works on a week-to-week basis. Now, what happens if you miss an assignment? Well, if you contact me prior to the due date, I can extend the deadline 24 to 48 hours for medical or family emergencies. Now, the reason why I can extend it beyond that date, beyond 48 hours, is because I have to post the results so other students can see what they scored and they could use that material to prepare for the upcoming exams. So I can't delay it more than 48 hours. But you have to contact me prior to the due date. If you don't contact me prior to the due date, I can't extend the deadlines. But all is not lost. I do have an extra credit assignment. So extra credit is going to be in week 17. That quiz, the weekly quiz for that particular chapter, will be for extra credit. And it's going to be worth up to 3.5% of your overall grade. That's more than enough to make up for a missed quiz or a couple of missed video questions. What you cannot miss are the exams. Because the exams are, as you can see by the, they are worth most of your point values here. So you cannot miss an exam. Again, if you have any sort of an emergency, you gotta contact me prior to the due date. That's important, okay? I have extensive explanations about due dates here at the last part of the syllabus right here, all these questions regarded to it. And then if you go to the class site, if you go to the top right here, I have extra credit and deadline. So I have a lot of resources for you to understand what is required of you, and that's about it. So if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, and you email me. I'll get right back to you. Okay? I look forward to interacting with you this term.